Welcome to White Slash. I'm glad to have you on my channel. Let's jump in today's story. I and my SIL had no problems between us in the start, as I assumed her to be a very sweet and kind person. But as I got to know her better, I came to know that she was jealous and an attention seeker person. As my husband introduced us in the beginning, she acted like she adored me and wanted to spend time with me. She was always asking when I was free, as she wanted to go out with me. I was okay at the start, but then it started bothering me as she wanted to go out with me all the time. Even when I had plans with my husband, and even when I would tell her that I was busy, she would keep on insisting on me. I then started avoiding her and would not respond to her texts. One day, she asked if I was free for a coffee date, but I had plans with my girlfriends, so I told her that I was busy with work. You guys will not believe that she stalked me and followed me to the restaurant where I was with my friends. She then texted me to have a good time with my work at said restaurant. I knew she was going to create a scene out of it, so I called my husband as soon as I got the text from her and informed him of the whole situation. When she went to my husband and told him that I was avoiding her and had lied to her, my husband told her that I needed my space and she could not breathe under my neck all the time. This made her furious, and she told him that I had to respect her as she was my SIL to be. She did not contact me for a while, and that was a breath of fresh air. A few months later, me and my husband, along with our mutual friends, planned a vacation, and as soon as my SIL came to know about that, she told my husband that she wanted to join. My husband told her that we were not comfortable with the idea, but she involved my FIL and he requested us to take her along. She made sure to stick around us during the whole trip, and I was sick of her. I just wanted to return as her presence was exhausting, and I could not take that. When I and my husband got engaged, my husband had bought gifts for me, and she could not bear that. She kept saying that my husband had never bought her anything like that because she was more deserving as she was his sister. She did not let go of that matter and would bring up the topic at every gathering and party. My husband had to take her shopping and bought her gifts of equal worth. As the wedding preparations began, she accompanied us whenever we went shopping and would buy everything for herself that I would like or would plan to buy. My husband had to be rude and exclude her from her plans, and she again went no contact until our wedding, thanks to her. She had been dating someone for a while, and that was a blessing for us as she got busy with her boyfriend and had left us alone. But whenever we would meet, she would brag about her boyfriend and try to prove that she has the best man in the world. She would show me the gifts her boyfriend had bought her and would even mention prices, trying to make me jealous. A few days back, she had planned a double date and had invited me and my husband to have dinner with her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend got along so well with us that we were not at all informal after a while. Her boyfriend complimented me a few times, and I could see that she was uncomfortable. As soon as the date ended, my SIL called my husband and told him that I was a slut and was trying to trap her boyfriend. My husband yelled at her and told her not to contact us again. When my husband told me about that, I called her and told her that her boyfriend was leaving soon because she was unbearable and no one would ever like to stay with her. Am I the asshole? Update 1. My SIL had created a scene at my in-laws' place and had told everyone that I had insulted her. She told my MIL and FIL that I called her intolerable and said that no one would bear her. My MIL called me and asked me exactly what happened. My MIL is a very kind and graceful lady, so I told her that I was going to see her and then I would tell her the whole story. I went to see her and told her what had happened. My SIL was also there, and when I told my in-laws what she had called me, they were furious. My FIL told her to apologize right there. She started weeping, but had to apologize because my FIL kept telling her to. My in-laws then arranged a dinner for all of us, and of course invited my SIL's boyfriend too. My SIL's boyfriend is a very cheerful and jolly person and gets comfortable immediately. All of us had a great dinner and were chit-chatting after that when my SIL's boyfriend asked why I had not accepted his friend request on Facebook. I straightforwardly told him that I thought my SIL would mind that. He laughed and said that she was not that conservative and asked my SIL if she had any problem. She said that she was okay, but then left the lounge after a while. I noticed a few days back that she blocked me on Facebook. She is just way too crazy. Update 2. It was Christmas, and we had all gathered at my in-laws' place for the dinner party. My SIL had not talked to me since our double date, and I did not even care. We all exchanged gifts, and my SIL's boyfriend had also brought gifts for all of us. He insisted we open them in front of him and tell him how we liked the gifts. All of us unwrapped our gifts, and I got a bracelet which was so precious. When my SIL opened up her gift, she also got the same bracelet. She threw it on the table and told her boyfriend that she did not want it. On asking what was wrong, she yelled and asked her boyfriend how could he buy the same gifts for us. He was confused and told her that he considered me his sister. My husband got up and asked my SIL why she always wanted the same gifts as mine. She said that it was a different story, as she was my husband's sister, while I was no one to her boyfriend, and that her boyfriend should have not even bought a gift for me. My husband told me to return the gift to my SIL, saying that we did not want anything from them. I told my husband that the gift was not from my SIL but my brother, so I was not returning it. I thanked my SIL's boyfriend and told him that the gift was amazing. My SIL screamed and went to her bedroom. Update 3. So, my SIL and her boyfriend had decided to get engaged and had planned an engagement party. The preparations were going on and my MIL had invited me shopping. We went shopping and then I went to my in-laws' place. My SIL came to me and asked me why I was so interested in her engagement as I was not even attending it. My MIL asked her what she meant, to which she said that she's not going to invite me. My MIL was trying to cover her when her boyfriend arrived and she told him that I was not invited to their engagement. Her boyfriend thought she was joking at first, and then told her that she was being kiddish. I told them that I was leaving and came back to my place. Now, my MIL called me and told me the whole situation after I had left. She said that my SIL and her boyfriend had a huge argument, and her boyfriend told her that she was doubting him since the start. My SIL's boyfriend then left, telling her that their relationship was over, and my SIL had locked herself up in her room since then. My husband has gone to my in-laws' place as they needed him there, and God knows what that lady is up to. Update 4. So the day when I posted the last update and told you guys that my husband had gone to his family to see what was going on, it took them hours to convince my SIL to unlock her room. She came out and went to the kitchen straight to get a knife. She then yelled that I was the cause of everything and that her boyfriend had broken up with her because he was having an affair with me. My in-laws somehow snatched the knife from her, but she left from my place saying that she was going to kill me. My husband called me and told me to lock the door as she was on her way. He was on the call and was telling me what had happened while I locked the doors. I then called the police and informed the situation. My SIL came to my place and hammered the door like crazy. She called me names and kept yelling that she was going to kill me as I had caused their breakup. Police arrived shortly after that and arrested my SIL. My in-laws had to struggle a bit to get her out as she seemed to be at my place with a criminal motive when she was arrested. I have suggested to my in-laws to get her help as she is literally psychotic. Opinion 1. NTA. OP kept pushing her away while it was OP's SIL who could not leave the couple alone and then did not even like OP. Thank God OP did not let her play her silly games and stood for herself every time her SIL tried to mess with her. Also, SIL's ex-boyfriend just dodged a bullet as she was going to make his life a living hell. Happy for that dude. Opinion 2. NTA. OP's SIL had psychotic problems and needed help. The way she kept sticking with OP even when she was jealous of OP was not normal at all. She could just not bear the presence of OP and also wanted to keep an eye on OP's life. When I read that SIL's boyfriend had decided to get engaged with her, I was like, hell no. How could he miss so many red flags? But thank God he stepped back and made a wise decision on time. My husband and I have two kids, 9 and 7, and we both work full time. Both of our jobs are in our desired fields and are what we went to school for. However, my job pays me much more than his, and mine is also a lot higher stress, requires more time commitment, and can be mentally exhausting. This does cause more of the kid and household duties to fall on him. He will sometimes complain about it, but with the nature of my job, there's just not much I can do to change it. Unless I plan ahead for taking time off, I just can't do it without it impacting a lot of other people and their jobs. This most often comes up when one of the kids is sick and needs to be picked up or kept home from school. It's just a lot easier for him to get away from work, especially since he works from home 3 days a week now. His job is always super understanding about it, and my husband has never once told me that he needs me to do something like that instead of him. Now that our kids are done with school for the year, we enrolled them both in summer programs that will keep them busy during the workday. However, last week our youngest was sick for 2 days, and this week our oldest had the same illness for 3 days. It was just a stomach bug, but they both had to be kept home. My husband took care of all this during the day, and I took over in the evenings. Last night I got home late and noticed my husband was a bit rattled. I asked him if everything was okay, and he just looked at me straight in the eyes and said, "No," in a tone that I don't think I have ever heard from him. It was almost vitriolic. He said he's tired of always being the one who has to stop what he's doing to take care of the kids, and that for just once he wants me to take initiative and step the F up. I told him that was a mean thing to say, and that I don't appreciate being ambushed like this as soon as I get in the door. I tried to explain to him that I had a tough day at work, but that I would take over for him, but he cut me off. He told me that he doesn't feel like I'm pulling my weight with the kids and the house, and that he's tired of me always acting like my job is more important than his. I took offense to that because I work my butt off at my job and come home and don't stop doing things around the house or with the kids until I go to sleep. I told him that actually, yes, my job is important because without my job, we wouldn't have the house, the cars, or the money to pay for our kids to be in these programs that allow us both to work. I told him that he knew the nature of my job when we got married, and we had discussions about how hard it would be for me to take off unexpectedly, and that he would have to do the brunt of that stuff with the kids when it comes up. He stood there and listened, and said, "Well, at least you can finally admit that you think you're more important." I tried to talk to him more about it, but refuses to speak to me. I know I messed up by actually saying that, but it's the truth. Edit. To clarify our respective jobs, I am an anesthesiologist and he is a web developer. Opinion 1. Reverse the roles here. If someone posted this and the wife was complaining about always being the one to have to take care of the kids, the husband would be crucified. YTA. If your job is so important, why did you have children? Opinion 2. YTA. You wouldn't be able to do your job if he didn't step up all the time. He is equally as important as you. So without him, you still wouldn't have all those things your income affords you. I, 16F, have 3 brothers, 20, 18, and 15. Our mother passed away from complications during the birth of my brother. I don't have any memories of mom. When she passed away, she left her estate to us, her children. The house we are currently living in belonged to my mother, and technically belongs to my brothers and I. My father had an affair with a child, 15. No one knew about her until 2 years ago. Her mother apparently went to a prison. None of her known relatives could or wanted to take her in. My dad took her in, and she has been living with us since. I hate her. She's nice to us when my dad is present. Otherwise, she's an effing bitch. I didn't say anything about her behavior at first because my dad has been treating her extra special. She can get away with anything. She acts like she owns this house. She's always in our rooms, wearing my clothes without asking, and worst of all, touching the items that belong to my mother. I used to not say anything to her, just ignore her and stay away from her. But recently, she's been so bold with her antics. I can't help but get mad at her and yell at her to stay away from me. My brothers just ignored her at first. but now are telling her to leave them alone because how crazy she's acting. She's constantly following us around, being mean and disrespectful for no reason. It's frustrating. My father is the only one not seeing that she's abnormal. We had a family meeting about how we're treating her unfairly and making her feel excluded. I calmly told my father that she's disrespecting our boundaries and is going into our rooms without our permission, which she argued that we go into each other's room without asking all the time. My brother, 18, told her that we are siblings and our relationship is different in comparison to her. My dad raised his voice for the first time at our brother, telling him he's out of line for saying that and that she's also our sister. I disagreed. I don't consider her my sister. She's a stranger to us. She's a stranger living in our house for the past 2 years, disrespecting us. It's not okay, and she needs to go. It's unfair that we can't live comfortably in our mother's house because of his kid. We don't want to be around her because she's weird and a psycho. My dad was furious and told us we are being unfair and ganging up on her. He left the room mad. She left crying, probably to get sympathy from my dad. My dad is still mad. It's been like a week and he's not listening to us. She's the crazy one. No one was mean to her. She was the one being disrespectful and we retaliated. All of a sudden now we're the bad ones when we don't want to be around her. We never yelled at her for no reason. We haven't said or done anything disrespectful to her. I'm not understanding why we are being punished when she was the one who was disrespectful. We stayed away out of her way, and every time she was getting more disrespectful, I don't feel like we were out of line for saying that. Opinion 1. NTA. Am I the only one reading that your father cheated on your mother and now the product of that infidelity is living in your mother's house? And your father expects you to now view that girl as your sister. I'm disgusted with your father. Her behavior is a whole nother thing. She's so disrespectful of you and your brothers, and also your mother. She is absolutely the AH in this. Your father siding with her is also the AH. I agree with another comment. Your 2 oldest brothers are adults. They need to give the ultimatum that either she goes or her and dad both go. Opinion 2. NTA. You and your brothers are caught in a very unfortunate situation. Regardless of what your dad has said, your feelings and your brothers are extremely valid. You've established boundaries and they haven't been respected. I think the best thing to do is maintain boundaries to avoid any gray area with a surprise sibling, and make moves now to move out when you're 18 or finished with high school. As for the items that belong to your mom, are you close with any of your mom's relatives? If so, and only if you trust them and they are in a position to help, gradually move your mom's things over there for safekeeping until you are able to take them back. Best of luck.